All right, it is time for your assignment for Unit 3. We're going to do a bit of a scavenger hunt for this assignment. So I am giving you 5 different, or maybe I gave you even more than that. I gave you 6 different images that I want you to try and capture. They're not going to be specific, like I want a picture of a dog. They're going to be different things that allow you to try out some techniques with your shutter speed and your aperture. You will have to also take into consideration the amount of light, so you may have to play with your ISO as well. But if you're not comfortable with that yet, just go ahead and put that in auto mode and let it the camera choose it for you. So for some of these, you're going to need to focus on your aperture. Feel free to use your semi-auto modes for that. Put it in aperture priority and let the shutter speed and the ISO be chosen for you. Some of them you're going to need to adjust the shutter speed. So the same thing, go ahead and put it in a semi-auto mode where you can adjust the shutter speed, but let the camera do everything else for you. Or go full manual. Any of those options are fine. The idea is that we want you to think about how you can make these things happen. So for example, one of them will be a portrait with some bokeh. So what do you need to do that? Hopefully you have a good understanding of that now, and now you can just go practice it. Another one will be light trails or light painting. So how can you do that? Do you remember from the lesson? Try it out, see how it works for you. Once you've gone through and managed to get all 6 of these pictures, we want you to think about the trade-offs. So if you needed to do light trails and you needed a long exposure, how did you choose, or how did the camera choose your aperture? What changed? What does your ISO look like? Did it introduce a lot of noise or no? Now, I will say for things where you do need to hold the camera in place, like your light trails or smoothing out water, a tripod is obviously great. If you don't have a tripod, don't stress. You can just put the camera flat on something and press the shutter button. If you're afraid that pressing that physical shutter button will introduce some camera shake, it can happen. Put it in a timer, like a 2-second timer. So you hit the shutter, it goes to 10 seconds, whatever, and then takes the picture. That way you will take away any of that motion from you physically pressing the button. You can also, a lot of cameras will have apps now where you can shutter from the app, or you can get a little clicker that will do the shutter for you. So there's lots of ways to get around that. As far as the tripod, there's a lot of different ways to get around that too. You don't need a tripod. Put it on the side of a bench, on a wall. If you get like a little tiny like bean bag, that's always nice because it has a little bit of give and allows you to readjust it as you need to. So don't feel like I can't do this because I don't have a tripod is the moral of the story. So then once you've done all that, think about the trade-offs that came from those choices that you made. And then you can try doing similar effects using your settings or using different settings than you did before, just to see how that adjusts. That's a bonus. So if you have the time and you want to experiment a little bit more, that's a good way to do it. Then put your photos up, include your reflection. If you give us some information on what you would like feedback on, obviously that will be helpful. And don't forget to put those in your learning journals. And once again, I want to say thank you to everybody for the engagement that we've had. It's been incredible. The feedback sessions have been really well attended. So I'm very happy about that. I apologize for the lateness in this unit. As you can hear from my voice, I'm still getting over my sickness, but hopefully that you'll have enough time still to get through all of this. There's no deadline, of course, so just do it when you can and get it up when you can. And just a final last thought here. This is completely voluntary, as you know, so those donations that we've been getting in have been incredibly, incredibly helpful for me. Specifically, a lot of this stuff comes right out of my wallet. So getting those donations have been a huge, huge, huge benefit for me. So I'm very thankful. I'm very grateful. You'll find the link for donation at the bottom if you're able to give a little bit. We are very appreciative towards it. So thank you guys. I'm looking forward to what you do. I think this will be a fun assignment. And I'll see you all in our feedback sessions. Okay, bye. Bye.